What is up, guys and gals? It's me, Thomas Phantom One here, and today we are back again with another Transformers Studio Series review. This time we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Studio Series number 71, Transformers Dark of the Moon Deluxe Class Autobot Dino. Now, before we jump into this review, I have to say two things. First of all, I apologize for the review that, or not the review, the Goofs videos that were supposed to happen. It's been a pretty hectic month for me, considering the fact that I just got back from a family emergency, and I'm still trying to get things back to going to the way they used to be, and it's just been a little difficult. But don't worry about that now. Two Goof videos will be happening either today or tomorrow, or one each day. I will certainly have episodes for you. The next one is Goofs in Bold Out, so please keep in mind for those, for all of my Thomas subscribers, people. Just make sure that you do that. Secondly, before I jump into this review, I have to say one thing also with Hasbro and Takara Tomy. So Hasbro had a difficult time acquiring some of the rights to use Ferrari as one of their molds, and unfortunately, Dino was one of those molds that suffered from that. And they had failed to acquire said partnership with them, and so they had to make the car look as a Ferrari-esque looking car. And I have to say, everything looks like Ferrari from the tip of the front bumper all the way to about the rear, right about to the rear of the car, where it then turns into a Porsche. So I don't know if that changes anybody's perspective of anything, but I have to say Hasbro tried. No problems there. And lastly, before I continue, this is the first official transforming toy of Dino that anybody in the Transformers fan base has ever seen before. So this is going to be kind of a first for everybody. I've had this for about 2 days now, and I gotta tell you, every part of me loves it. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into the review. But before we get into the figure at hand, of course, we have to look at the packaging. So, clearly you've got your, it's a traditional Studio Series looking box. Obviously you got your character up front. This is Dino and his arm blades and stuff like that, and he's from Transformers Dark of the Moon. Obvious Dino, Transformers on the side there. Typical Transformers looking box. Dino on the side, Autobot logo in the back here. This is where it looks more like a Porsche than it does a Ferrari, right here, as the CGI render. So, pretty much everything on the back here is pretty self-explanatory. On the side, you got Studio Series number 71, Deluxe Class, Clase Deluxe, Deluxe Clase, and Clase de Lujo. Now, if you speak any one of those languages, please let me know how terribly I did with the translation, so please let me know in the comments below. I'm sure I got it all wrong. But next thing about the packaging is the one thing that I truly don't care for. I mean, I think it's cool that they do this, but I just don't care for it. That's the backdrop display. And if we no longer need this for now. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the one that came with the Studio Series Sideswipe, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, I don't really care for the backdrop. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, it's a neat little piece, I'll admit, but I just don't care for the backdrops. I mean, as you can see, Grimlock's is still in his, so I really haven't messed with the backdrops in a long time. So, anyways, without further ado, let's get into some comparisons. So, first comparison we're going to start off with is his movie mates. First one being Studio Series Roadbuster. I'm not going to be transforming them into their vehicle modes. I'm sorry, I just don't feel like doing it because that would just take more time, and because I don't have a computer to edit this, I feel like it would just be a waste of time to do it. So anyhow, there's Roadbuster being his movie mate, and here he is with his other movie mate, Topspin. And here he is with a more modern Voyager. Here he is next to Kingdom Primal. And last but not least, here he is next to Kingdom. Let's straighten all this out here. Make sure he'll stand. Megs. Here he is next to Kingdom Megs. So, without further ado, let me move my workspace a little bit so I can get my hands in here to get a little dirty with this toy. So he does come with accessories, but unfortunately they lie with inside the vehicle themselves because it kind of helps secure some stuff in vehicle mode. So it's just easier to leave the weapons inside. But we will take a look at those after the transformation is complete. So, first thing you're going to want to do to kind of just make sure everything is just so helpful, you're going to want to kind of untab the door here. There we go. And that's going to tab into the foot, so little round peg there, little round hole. There you go. Do the same on both sides, like so, and there you go. Then we're going to untab this section from the bumper, which will be a leg. Do the same thing on the other side. Do that. And then if this doesn't do it already, flip it up, rotate it, and then we don't have to worry about this piece for a little bit later in the transformation. Then what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to take, or flip it around. Let's do this first. You're going to want to take the legs, and you're going to want to flip them down, and push these pieces in on the thighs. Push that in there. Rotate at the knee, fold down the foot, rotate the knee, fold down the foot, and push this forward along with the head. This will become that section later. And this is where we can now unpeg the weapons. They do store in there just via those two little round peg holes there. And so then we do that. Then, after that, we're going to kind of go to the front of the car, and we're going to unhinge that and unhinge tabs from that slot as well. So that way the arms are now free, and then we got to rotate these arms up like so. So that way we can just then rotate this around like so. And then we're going to take this front section and push it up, and it's just on this hinge base here. You're going to want to push it down. Then you're going to want to push this bumper section up, the way that secures in. I'm going to move the arms out of the way. This is where things start to get a little bit frustrating depending on how well you do this. You want to do that. Now, let's just rotate the arms while we're at it. Rotate those. Rotate that, and then rotate that inward. And then I'm going to want to, everything here is on a hinge, and it's a little paneled mess, but it'll kind of compress nice and neat. So we're going to then take this section here, push that in. Make sure this section folds down that nicely. Kind of move some stuff around a little bit. That way, there we go. I don't like this hinge because it's connected to the back window, but you're going to have to kind of make it all compress. So this is what you're going for. And these two pieces back here on the back bumper will just peg into those little slots in the roof. And this whole thing, this is pretty much what you want it to look like. I mean, it looks like a paneled mess, and it is a paneled mess, but it does kind of clean up at the end here, like so. You pull the arms down, and then make sure everything is all straightened out a bit here. Then you're going to take the torso section, push it up, and that's just going to, hold on. And then this tab right here on the back of the head is going to go into that slot right there, and it'll just clip on, and it secures that nicely and neat. And clean everything up, and then come back to the doors. I mean, I didn't do this at the beginning, but fold these little panels up. That way you can just kind of complete the look. And then take this. Let me just straighten everything out. Make sure. I like to angle the doors, but if you have the figure, you do as you please. And there you go. And there's Dino in his robot mode. And I have to say, Hasbro did not disappoint, I must say. They did the best that they could with the resources that they had, and I have to say, they did a pretty darn good job and gave us a really fantastic representation of this character. It is, at least to the front and the back, it's mostly screen accurate. Like the back, the only thing that kind of just makes me a little question is this bumper section, but I'm not going to cry about that because I won't be displaying it with its back. I will be displaying it front. And like I said, this figure is just fantastic. Like, I gotta say, they knocked it out of the park with the representation of this character. Like, I mean, I don't like what they did with the vehicle mode, but then again, there had to be some give and take because of licensing issues. But I have to say, with what they had, they did knock it out of the park. This fake chest here does not bother me in the slightest at all. But now that we're in robot mode, I think we should now take a look at the blades. The blades are the weakest link of this figure. And now, I say this not because it doesn't look screen accurate or anything, it's just that they missed out on an opportunity to kind of just paint this silver, so that way that people know there's an actual blade there, because with this, I mean, it just looks like a sword, in a way. Like, it just kind of looks like a sword. It doesn't really look like a blade. It just looks like a little bit of a sword. And I say sword because sword is the longer term, or a machete or something like that, than this would be if it were something like Batman's blades on his gauntlets. So, anyways. So, but with the blades, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. You can store them in robot mode, but it's really, really stupid. There are these little pegs here, and there are slots on his shoulders right here, and what you're supposedly supposed to do is you're supposed to take this, or wrong shoulder, you're supposed to take this and you're supposed to insert it like that, and you're supposed to do it the other side like that. That's all of the, and this one doesn't like to stay in that well. Sorry, it fell right behind the camera. And it fell right behind and underneath my tripod. Hooray. But anyways, sorry about that. But you're supposed to put them in like that, and I don't like that. That looks ridiculously dumb. I did not get this character to store them on like that. I got this character to store them on his underarms. Now the box shows the blades like this. The box shows them like this. This is not... No. They do look like that at some point, but when he stores them in robot mode, they look like this. You can go back and watch Transformers Dark of the Moon if you don't believe me. So just know, when he's in robot mode, he stores them like that. So, yeah. Well, so without further ado, let's get this guy straightened out a bit here. There we go. Oh. There we go. Alright, so let's do some comparisons. Here he is with his movie mate, Topspin. And they're about the same height. I'm talking from head level. They're about the same height, give or take a hair or two. There we go. And here he is with his other movie mates, at least the only other one that I have. Roadbuster? Studio Series Roadbuster. And like I said, these are about the same height, head length at least. Alright, and here he is with Primal? Sorry about that. And last but not least, here he is with... I'm gonna have to zoom out for this shot. Tripod back a bit here. Oh, Megatron knocked over Dino. That's sad. yeah, as you can see, he's bigger than him, obviously. But anyhow. Now, in regards to this figure, do I recommend you get it? If you're a hardcore Transformers fan, like I am in some ways, if you're like a real hardcore Transformers fan, I say absolutely go get it for sure. Now, do I say, would I recommend you buy this online? No, I would not recommend you buy this online. Um, where I purchased mine was in Spanish Fork, Utah, which I am currently still in Utah, not back in Virginia with the rest of my Transformers collection. However, uh, I do recommend that you go get this figure because it will complete your Dark of the Moon toy and robot cast. It will totally complete it. Uh, Unless you don't have the Japan exclusive Q, but still. Anyhow, I totally recommend this figure. It is really screen accurate. I mean, the only time it really breaks focus, because these blades kind of hide the paneled mess that is the torso. But then again, at the same time, that's kind of like the best place to put it. But it's alright, because I don't really care about that. But I totally recommend that you purchase this character. I totally do. But I would wait until you find it in retail stores like Walmart, Target, uh, if you live in Washington, Fred Meyer's, if you live in Utah, Smith's, if you can find your local stores like the major department stores like Target, Walmart, and all of those types of stores, then you'll be able to find it relatively soon, I must say. I just got lucky yesterday on a small toy hunt and found it just by chance. But yeah, I totally recommend that you purchase this figure because it is just a fantastic representation. It is very screen accurate. Although I do foresee third-party companies later in the future making chains for Dino, as in the movie he got hooked on one of the what was it, the dreads? Yeah, the dreads. He hooked up to one of the dreads and skied on the highway, or was it snowboarded? Whatever it was. It was something, he did something on the highway. It was really cool. But yeah. Anyhow, this is Thomas Fan 1 saying don't forget to subscribe for more content. Don't forget to leave a like on this video down below. And don't forget to leave a comment down below about what Transformer you'd like to see me do next. I do not want to do B127. I did not like that mold. But just leave something in there and we'll see what happens. But anyhow, don't forget to keep playing with your toys. This is Thomas Fan 1 saying that, and goodbye.